People say nothing good ever happens after midnight, but the truth is worse than that. Because some things only happen when the clock hits AM, the hour when the world feels too quiet, when shadows feel too alive, and when strange things start watching from places you cannot see. If you think these are just stories, then listen carefully, because what you're about to hear actually happened, and no one, not even the people who lived through it, can explain what they saw, what they heard, or what followed them long after the night was over. These stories don't want to scare you, they want to warn you, because once you hear them, AM will never feel the same again. The first story happened to a boy named Aaron, who used to stay up late playing games on his old laptop. One night, the power went out in his house exactly at 3 o'clock AM. Everything went completely dark except for his laptop screen, which stayed on even though it wasn't charged. At first, he thought it was just a glitch, until the screen changed on its own to a black background with a single line of text. "Are you alone?" Aaron thought someone hacked his computer, but then he heard a slow dragging sound in the hallway outside his room. His parents were asleep far down the hall. He knew that. His dog was locked in the laundry room. And the sound didn't match footsteps, it was like something heavy was being pulled across the floor inch by inch. The screen typed again without him touching the keyboard. "IT knows you're awake." Aaron froze. The dragging sound stopped right outside his door, and the door handle gently turned by itself. Not fast, not loud. Slowly, like someone was testing if he was watching. He held his breath. The laptop typed again. "Don't let IT see you." But before he could react, the door creaked open just an inch, and a long pale hand slipped through the gap, fingers bending unnaturally like they were searching the air. Aaron slammed his laptop shut, thinking maybe the screen was somehow connected to whatever was happening. The moment the laptop closed, the hand froze, then snapped back with unnatural speed, disappearing down the hallway. The power came back a moment later. His parents didn't hear anything. But from that night on, every night at AM, his door handle turns, even when he locks it, even when he pushes something heavy in front of it, and the dragging sound continues in the hallway for exactly 13 minutes before stopping. Not 12, not 14, 13. The next story is about a girl named Myra who loved going on late-night walks. She believed the world was calmest at AM, when everyone was asleep. She thought it was peaceful until the night she realized something was following her. She didn't notice at first. She was walking past a row of houses when she heard footsteps behind her, slow and heavy. She turned around expecting to see another person, maybe a neighbor. But the street was empty. She kept walking, and the footsteps returned, matching her speed. When she stopped, they stopped. When she walked faster, they followed faster. Myra tried to convince herself she was imagining it, until she passed under a streetlight and saw her shadow stretch across the ground and a second shadow right behind hers, much taller and shaped wrong, with arms too long and a head that seemed bent at a strange angle. She spun around again. No one was there, but the shadow remained on the ground for a full second after she turned, like it didn't realize it was supposed to disappear. She ran home, locked all her doors, and didn't sleep. Around 3:27 AM, she finally calmed down enough to check her phone. She opened her camera by accident and saw, in the reflection behind her, something tall standing in the corner of her room, its neck tilted, watching her breathe. She didn't see it with her own eyes, only through the camera. She grabbed her blanket, covered her face, and didn't move until sunrise. When she uncovered her head, the corner was empty. But every camera she owns, her phone, her laptop, even the reflection in her turned of TV still shows that tall, bent figure standing behind her whenever the clock hits AM. The last story is about a man named Daniel, who worked night shifts at a gas station. His job was usually boring, but one night at exactly AM, every single light inside the store flickered off, then on again. When the lights came back, Daniel wasn't alone. A woman with tangled black hair was standing at the far end of the store, facing away from him. He hadn't heard the door open. No bell rang. No footsteps. She was just suddenly there. Daniel called out, asking if she needed help, but she didn't move. He tried again. Nothing. When he stepped closer, the lights went off again, and the store went silent. In that darkness, Daniel heard breathing, not normal breathing, but sharp, shaky gasps, like someone was standing right in front of him, struggling to breathe. When the lights flicked back on, the woman was inches from his face, her hair covering everything but her mouth, which hung open far too wide. Then she whispered one sentence, so quietly he felt it more than heard it. You can see me. Daniel stumbled back, but when he blinked, the woman vanished. The security cameras show nothing, no woman. No flickering. No movement, but the footage froze at exactly 3 hours 0 minute and 13 seconds AM, and the screen burned with static that spelled out one word: run. Daniel quit the next day. But every night since, his bedroom light flickers at M, and sometimes, when the room goes dark for a second, he hears those same shaky breaths right beside him. People say these stories aren't real, that they're just things people imagine when they're tired or scared. But the people who live them know the truth. They know is not just a time on the clock. It's something else. A doorway. A signal. A moment when something on the other side notices us. And once it notices you, once it knows you're awake at that hour, it doesn't forget. So the next time you're up at M, and you hear a sound you can't explain, or see a shadow that doesn't belong to you, don't investigate. Don't look. Don't move. Because the things that come out at that hour aren't looking for trouble. They're looking for someone who is awake. And if that someone is you, then it's already too late.